Welcome to Yukes, Cukes and Nukes, the only podcast that covers my three favorite things. That's right, cucumbers, which are a type of melon. Yukes, which are ukuleles, which are a type of guitar. Well, technically they're not. They're in the mandolin family. And nuclear missiles, the only missile for my money. If you're gonna spend money on arms, you better make it a nuke. It makes all the other weapons obsolete. That's right, folks. And I'm joined with an expert in the field, not of nukes or cukes. Well, he's dabbled in cukes. I don't know what he knows about nukes, maybe more than you'd expect, but he's an expert of ukes, my man. Jeff Davis is in the house. What's up, Jeff?
Hello, everybody. So good to be back.
Yeah,
I wouldn't call myself an expert on nukes, but I agree with you about nukes. Nukes for me are the aristocrats of weapons. They are the gentleman's weapon. I think is
right.
What we got there.
So not the dirty joke, the dirty long running joke that has a documentary, exploring it, but rather just the social class of aristocrats.
Yes.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Right. What do you know about the aristocrats joke? Oh, go ahead.
No, the aristocrats joke. It's a joke that I can't tell well because you really do have to commit to there's certain people that can tell the aristocrat joke because they really commit to the long, detailed, drawn-out version of it. And right. I find, I think in that movie, for me, I'm going to go Bob Saget. I think Bob Saget had the funniest one.
He's great. He's a great, dirty comedian. That was always... It's funny because he was such a sweet dad, and then he's like a filthy, degenerate pervert.
He's filthy. He's...
Yeah. My dad always looked like Bob Saget to me a little bit. Go ahead.
I can see that. That. How you doing, Kevin?
I'm doing good. It's nice to have you back.
Kevin, do we need to talk about the fact that there's nothing on your shelves back there? Are you planning a hasty exit?
Yes.
Are you on the lam?
No, this is an office that I was planning on moving out of, so we actually packed everything up from and then decided to keep. So I never actually unboxed all my stuff to put it back.
I think I had that same lamp. That I tall think kind of
IKEA.
My friends left town in a hurry, and I think I need a tall lamp in my room. I have that. I think that same lamp in my bedroom, and I don't like it.
I don't like this one either.
I need a good tall standing lamp, and I currently have that one. Now I'm just bummed out because now you have it, and I feel like it's following me.
Wow. So you still have that, Jeff? You still have the lamp?
It's very close to where I'm sitting right now, and just knowing that it's there. Yeah.
I'm jealous.
It doesn't commit hard enough to being Japanese inspired to shake off what is clearly IKEA furniture.
Yes. Yeah. It tries to look exotic, but fails miserably.
Yes. It's Scandinavian. If a lazy Scandinavian tried to trick you into having something Japanese in your home, that's that lamp.
Yeah.
And what little I do know about the Scandinavians, they are not a lazy people.
Top 10 things you know about Scandinavians, Jeff?
They're capitalists.
Okay.
They purport to embrace ethnic and religious diversity while being secret fascists.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
They love butter. They're a butter loving culture.
A bunch of filthy butter lovers.
You fucking butter lovers. Because we all know that the French are cheese eaters, but then you go, a couple 100 miles to the north and you're in butter country.
Whoa.
Yeah. I don't know much about the Scandinavians, and I'm part Danish. Does that count as Scandinavian? I think it does.
If Scandinavian counts as Danish, that's a fourth thing we know about Scandinavians.
Here's something I'm embarrassed to admit, and I don't even think some of my best friends know this about me. I'm not totally convinced I know the difference between a lowlander and a Laplander.
I can't believe you just did. This podcast goes out to the public.
I've reached a stage in my career where I don't give a shit anymore. And if this is how the world finds out that I don't know what Lapland is, it sounds like a strip club, and I want it to be a Scandinavian themed strip club.
Yeah.
That has to be an old joke.
I mean, that sounds like I think it's a new joke. Mm-hmm. It sounds really good. Mm-hmm. Lapland. I just Googled where is Scandinavia, because I thought it's like, well, there is no Scandinavia, but it says it is a region. So there's a region called Scandinavia. So fuck me, I guess.
I'm going to open up, if there isn't one already, and I'm sure there is, a Scandinavian themed strip club called Lapland. Again, is Lapland Scandinavian? These are things I don't know. I'm moving ahead so quickly with my Lapland strip club idea. I'm not even going to research this shit. Yeah. But I'm going to open up a male dancer, exotic dancer club next to Laplanders called Nordic. And it's going to be Dick with a K at the end because it's about cock.
Yeah, Nordic. That's good. It looks like Lapland is in Finland.
Okay.
Yeah. So the largest portions in Finland, but it also includes northern Sweden, northern Norway, and the northwestern part of Russia.
So you can be a Laplander and you can be near the lowlands and the Netherlands.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Netherlands.
Because you refer to your genitals as the nether regions, and also they're in your lap. Is I don't know. There's a whole lot of research that I ought to have done on this before I started talking about it. And again, at this point in my life, I'm beyond your judgment. If this is how we all part company, you go, that Jeff doesn't know shit about Lapland.
Yeah. So, I guess, how like Michael Jackson took like skin whitening or whatever, he whitened his skin. Like, I guess he was obsessed with like Scandinavians and stuff, which is why he named his like house Netherland Ranch. Netherland. Yeah. You see?
Mm-hmm. And that's why we call a penis a Peter, because of Peter Pan, who was from Netherland.
Which is a place in the nether regions.
Mm-hmm. 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 And just like Peter Pan didn't want to grow up, Michael Jackson didn't want the children to wake up because he
wanted them to stay asleep
while they were sleeping. I don't even think Michael Jackson had the common courtesy to wait for these children to go to sleepy time before he started molesting them.
Yeah, I think I would agree with that. Peter Pan, he's a shower, not a grower, because he doesn't grow up. He shows up.
Yes, he shows up. He shows up through your window, but never grows up. Right,
exactly. That's something that Peter Pan is something that, he's creepy. They don't talk about that he's just hanging outside of windows that often. That's like something we just kind of are meant to absorb as like, yeah, this is what he does. But it's like, really, he's spending a lot of time like floating outside of windows.
Yeah, I think I like that about like fairy tales and folklore, is that they don't spend a lot of time explaining how we got here. Like, there's not a lot of ramp up. All of a sudden, there's just a weird elf creature, adult boy that can fly in my children's bedroom, and he abducts them, kind of, doesn't he? He certainly gets them high. Like he sprinkles dust on them from some imaginary sprites.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Then they eat the imaginary pie.
I think it's a refreshing kind of storytelling. It's just like you go into a storyteller, like a fairy tale, with just, okay, there's witches, or okay, there's giants, or okay, like a wolf can talk. Like they just get right into the meat and potatoes of the story.
Mm-hmm.
Have you guys ever seen the Love Bug, the original Love Bug movie with Herbie the talking? Or he doesn't talk, but the
Yes.
Volkswagen. They just showed that.
Yes.
Our good buddy Matt Landsman, he runs a little cinema thing at the Vista Theater, and he did a showing a few days ago of the Love Bug. How fresh in your memory is that movie, Kevin or Spencer? Have you ever seen it?
I don't think I've seen it.
I was a kid when I last saw it, I think.
Right. Because it came out, what, like 69, I want to say?
Yeah.
But I don't think the movie, if you haven't seen it, or if you've never seen it, or if you haven't seen it in some time, I think it is worth a rewatch, because Disney for a while was making some really awesomely weird live action movies. And like they're pretty freaky, like Bedknobs and Broomsticks. Like there's some freaky shit going on. But at some point, I'd forgotten about this. Herbie, they never truly explain why this Volkswagen has a soul and what we would consider human emotions.
Yeah.
But what I think they kind of spend no time addressing the fact that at some point in the movie, Herbie attempts suicide. He tries to kill himself by throwing himself off of the Golden Gate Bridge. And not only do they not explain how he has a soul, but also the fact that he's a deeply emotionally unstable Volkswagen Beetle.
Yeah, well, I heard that they had like a scene that was more explaining his deal, but it didn't test poorly, but then they took it out. But apparently it was a guy who he was like stuck in a dead-end job, and he committed suicide in Herbie the Love Bug by leaving the car running in the garage, you know?
Right.
So,
but yeah,
that
doesn't seem very Disney.
Yeah, I think they determined that like kids, well, it was mostly that kids didn't understand it. They were like, well, how does that kill you? He's just sitting in the car in his garage. Like, what do you know? Then they didn't want to explain like carbon monoxide poisoning. That gets too, in the weeds.
Yeah.
It's impressive.
That doesn't seem like the best way to do it. The old pose through the window in the garage.
No, because
maybe it is.
First of all, exhaust smells bad. Like I don't want to be.
That's true.
It's just not comfortable.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
Before we do the next that happens. Let's all try out and find out what the best suicide is.
Okay. Yeah, and we can report back with our findings.
Yes.
You know what I'm going to look into is putting my head in the oven. Like, remember, you know how that's like a way people kill themselves.
That seems like a flawed system too. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, how does? There's a lot.
I think that was back when like it was natural gas or something. I think it had to do with suffocation, and now ovens are built differently, so they don't do that anymore, or something like that. I don't know. It's funny though. Speaking of fairy tales, that's what killed the witch. The kids didn't do anything. She was just trying to kill herself. She put her head in the oven. Jeff.
Yeah.
How do you know Matt Landsman?
Well, I guess from the drawing room, and he came to Harmontowns a lot, didn't he? And,
yeah, he was a big Harmontown guy. He was like one of my Harmontown friends. I didn't have a lot of friends when I did the Harmontown stuff, but he was one of them. He's maybe. Go ahead.
Good. No, you.
Oh, I was going to say he's maybe doing the best out of everybody post Harmontown.
He
Matt
looks
Landsman,
like he's found. Is he cleaning up?
I don't know. It seems like it. He's doing screenings.
He seems like he's having a good old time, because he got up there and started talking about Jacques Tati, because that's why I went down there. I didn't know they were doing it in a private little sexy room off of the main theater of the Vista.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, there's like 15 people watching a weird French film, and it was really cool to watch a Tati movie with strangers and hear other human beings reacting to it and laughing at it. It was like it was. I've only ever watched a Jacques Tati film alone, and it was really cool to hear other people reacting to a screen of and that one, the Mr. Hulot's vacation, or Le Vacances de Monsieur Hulot, or whatever. That's a really weird early black and white one. It was just, I don't know. I found it like a really charming human experience to be sitting in a little room in Los Feliz and hearing other people chuckling at a film from the 50s. It was awesome.
Yeah, that sounds like a really cool experience.
Yeah, and there's our Matt Landsman emceeing the whole film plan. And the tape of that was a shit VHS copy that I think is from Quentin Tarantino's own personal collection. So there's an old VHS tape of this film. But
so Matt's palling around with,
he had an actual, like, I think a 16 millimeter print in, what's the tech, IB something tech? He explained some sort of film technology to me.
Kevin,
where they kind of layer the colors on top of the film, and I don't know. It was.
I can't remember what that's called, but yes, I know.
It's some sort of weird film treatment or color processing treatment that Disney was using for a while, and then they stopped because it's complicated and it makes the film wavy or something like that. But it was also that was really cool to, like, because there's not a big movie theater, so you have the projector right behind your head, and you hear the projector spinning, and it's like, wow, like we're really going back in time here. We're hearing the click of the projector. Awesome.
Dolby Laser could never.
It never could. Now, see, these analog human experiences are becoming extra special. And I just got back from a little trip to Oaxaca, where it was really like the immersion into like just like what entertainment really is. Parades, man. The Oaxacans, they like a goddamn parade. They will throw a parade for a political rally, for a wedding, for someone graduated school, for who, like, Larry got a raise at work. Like, it does just parades happen, and it's fucking great.
That's awesome. That's what culture should be, it's a celebration.
It really was. And unlike parades down Old Main Street, USA, where there's going to be shit in the gutters, there's going to be a bunch of plastic bags and plastic trash everywhere. Somehow, the streets of Oaxaca were spick and span. You've been there, right, Kevin?
No, I haven't. I've always wanted to, but I have not.
That is a tidy, tidy town. And when I did couple little day trips into some of the surrounding villages, like for the arts and crafts and all that stuff. And you go down alleyways, there's not a bit of trash. There's not like you drive through other parts of Mexico or the States or wherever, there's just trash bags everywhere. There's 7-Eleven plastic carryout bags stuck to fences along the side of the road. The Oaxacan civic pride about keeping the streets tidy. I don't know if that's just because it was a big tourist holiday and that's a special thing, or if that's just year round there, but it was kind of marvelous.
Yeah, I wonder how they do that. I know some foreign countries, they put a lot of effort into trash norms and collections, and like they'll fine you or something. So like it can be pretty stiff, but
I was talking to somebody there in my poor Spanish and her not so perfect English, but she was saying that, like, in the communities, like if you're a house owner, it's like your duty at some point to take charge of the streets. And like you volunteer your time and effort to go out there and keep it tidy. And if you don't, I don't know if there's some actual like rule or government like law, or if it's just kind of a cultural norm that like there is some sort of punishment for not chipping in. I didn't totally understand it. Have you ever heard anything like that?
No, I'm Googling this, and apparently there's a trash collectors strike in 2022 in Oaxaca. Maybe they won such good concessions that they're like, hey, we're gonna fucking kick trash's ass. We're gonna destroy this shit.
It was great. Like there would just be a parade, and then you get stuck on the street, and you can't go anywhere because just all the intersections are just people dancing, and it's kind of like New Orleans. They love parades. They love brass bands. There's a lot of horns. So you're never far from a sousaphone in Oaxaca. And everyone's just fucking dancing, and it's like New Orleans. There's no tall buildings. There's like rarely is there a building over 2 stories. There's no Starbucks. There's no chain anything.
That sounds great.
I don't know if I saw a TV. I think I saw one TV inside like a pub or something like that. But like they don't have like pubs like in most cities. There's that shit Irish pub. You know, like it just looks like every other Irish pub in every other town. It's not really Irish, just what we think Irish pubs look like. Didn't see any of those. But just like, it was just like no televisions. It was a good old fucking time.
Well, was everyone on their damn phones the whole time?
No, I only saw one couple of Insta hotties taking like glamour shots of themselves. And it is a very picturesque town. It is colorful. There's murals everywhere. There's art wherever you go. Even in the poorer like districts and neighborhoods, there's just all these vibrant colors in all the buildings. But yet I didn't see people taking selfies. There was no like there's nothing but photo opportunities. I mean, obviously people are taking photos of, you know, the big cathedrals and all the big sites and stuff like that. But it's not a big social media frenzy. It was just absolutely great. If you're out there and you've not been to if you're out there and you have been or you're from Oaxaca, hooray for you, because you have an awesome part of the world. If you want to go to Mexico and you don't want to be around a bunch of bros from Orange County, go to Oaxaca. Like it's there's not a lot of English spoken, but they're very nice about it. If you don't, everybody was just cool.
Wow. I was talking to my producer about the pre-interview that he had with you, and he said that you enjoyed a slightly exotic cuisine, Jeff. Maybe a creature that a lot of people don't eat.
If you're talking about eating ass, Spencer.
Talking about, they call them donkeys, but in Oaxaca they call it el culo, Jeff.
They love eating ass down there. No, I know.
Sounds like my kind of people.
Spencer, I've been a vegetarian, as you well know, and you've well documented this in the unsanctioned biography that you're writing about me.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
the unauthorized.
Yeah.
Yes. I've been vegetarian since since I was like 1992. But because when I'm traveling, sometimes I get a little cultural FOMO, as the kids call it. And since I haven't been drinking, I'm off the booze. I did not drink mezcal, which Oaxaca is quite famous for. Mm-hmm. That's where the mezcal comes from. And everybody, I don't even know if I saw anyone drinking tequila there. It was mezcal. And cute little abuelas are walking down the road. They just hand you a bottle of their mezcal, and everyone's just drinking mezcal. Mm-hmm. But I think very well behaved. I didn't see a lot of like really, really drunk people. It was great. But I did eat something that's not vegetarian. I went to one of the markets, but one of the more like locals kind of market called Mercado Centro de Abastos, and I ate chapulines. I ate the grasshoppers. Because here's my justification for eating the grasshoppers. What is it, the statistic that the average human unknowingly eats something like 200 pounds of bugs in their lifetime or something like that, like in our food? Or,
yeah.
And that I think the FDA, and I don't know what they call it in other countries, there is an allowance that we make for what's an acceptable level of bug parts in our food. Mm-hmm. And it's quite a lot. Like in our flour, like if you're eating anything baked, there's bugs in that.
It's like 30% or something.
It's sometimes, depending on where you get it, it could be as much as 70% bug parts.
Right. Yeah.
And that's what they mean when they say enriched. It's got bug.
Wow.
But there's a book called Bugs in the Peanut Butter that you should not read if you ever want to eat ever again, because it's an entire book just listing things of like the maximum amount of grasshopper legs. There's a different limit for grasshopper legs than there are for grasshopper body parts in peanut butter and stuff like that. And like there's this whole book just goes through like every food you love and why you should never eat it ever again. So
yeah, if you I went to go. I had a friend from college, and he ended up being a winemaker, assistant winemaker at one of the wineries in Santa Ynez, California. And he showed me the winemaking process, and he opened up like one of these vats that was like kind of the early stages of fermentation, and the top layer was just nothing but dead hornets and bees and flies. And I was like, is that a problem? And he's like, no. He goes, there's a lot of protein, and there's a lot of bug protein in wine. And apparently chocolate too. That they're like, we allow.
Yeah.
We are allowed to. It's quite permissive, the amount of bugs that we put. So I ate 4 grasshoppers on purpose, and I'll tell you what. You fry them up right, and you put a little chili and some lemon on those motherfuckers. They're downright tasty. Have you ever had the chapulines, you guys?
I haven't. I would try one probably, but I haven't seen one around, you know.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. The shells seem tough, but I mean, I guess if it's crunchy, crunch is good, right? It's just like a potato chip.
They're like potato chips. They're light, they're crunchy, they're kind of nutty.
Yeah, I've heard they're nutty. Yeah.
I'm not saying go out there and do it, but I'm saying it's I don't know. They were laughing at me. I was clearly the only gringo in the marketplace there. And also I'm a head and a half, or if not 3 heads taller than most of the people in Oaxaca.
Yeah.
A lot of the people are up to my elbow there. And so I stand out there. And so everybody was having a nice laugh at the tall gabacho eating the fucking chapulines in the market.
That's awesome. So it was the Mole Festival. Do you think that's why there was all the parades? Was the festival, or do you think they're just always doing that?
No, the festival that was happening is called Guelaguetza, and that's the annual like indigenous cultural major festival that comes to Oaxaca City. I guess they celebrate all around Oaxaca, but in Oaxaca City, everybody from all over Mexico. That's a big, like the tourism that was there while I was there was mostly Mexican tourists. Mm-hmm. So there was not a whole lot of whiteys like me out there. And so people come from all over to celebrate their indigenous, like what they're kind of known for, their music, their dance, what they make, what they grow. And so everybody's giving. It's a festival of sharing and giving. So everywhere you go, people are handing you presents and gifts and tossing you bread or giving you mezcal or chocolate. Oh, the chocolate, the good heavens. It was a really awesome time. And I did my best to make sure that I was appreciative of the fact that this is a very important Oaxacan festival, and it's become very touristy for other people to come down there and take part in it. And there's a big, I think, I don't know if it's a divide, but there's the Guelaguetza that's big and commercial with a big giant show up on the hill there at the big auditorio. And those tickets are expensive, so your average Oaxacan might not get to go to that one. And then there's another Guelaguetza like thing that's the Guelaguetza Popular, thrown by, and I'm probably going to get all this wrong, but it's Sección 22. It's like a teachers union, and there's been a lot of teachers strikes, and so it's workers unions and teachers unions throwing a Guelaguetza fireworks and big festival for the people, and keeping government and commercialism out of it. My apologies for getting that wrong, but it was cool to see both sides of that. There's a lot of spirit of revolution and cultural identity down there that they're, trying to hang on to. And it was just really cool to see all the different parts of Oaxaca come together. And those motherfuckers are artists with everything they do. There's just color everywhere. The food is outstanding. It's just unreal. The first bite of food I had was a mole that I could eat. It was a vegetarian version of a mole negro, and it blew my mind. I'll be quiet about Oaxaca. I loved it.
No, this is the show. This is basically the whole show. I was just looking up Guelaguetza, trying to learn more.
Here's one thing I learned. If you go to the Guelaguetza and you're at one of the shows, each different region gets up there and does a dance. And there will be maybe some fireworks. There'll be a lot of color, a lot of awesome dancing. Some of it's almost kind of like Commedia dell'arte, like they're acting out bullfights or things like that. What I love about Mexico when there's festivals around an audience is safety is sort of an afterthought. There's so much shit that can hurt you that you would never ever see in the United States. There's fireworks are happening next to your eyeball without any warning. And then at the end of these dances, they start throwing things into the audience, and you have to fucking prestar atención. If you take your eye off the goddamn pelota there, like, you get hit. I got nailed in the face by looking away with a little loaf of bread. And I was hungry too, and I ate that bread. It was fucking delicious. But they're throwing fruit at you. They're throwing like hunks of chocolate, like wrapped up, which is a weapon if you really put
chocolate's
your arm
pretty
into
dense. Yeah,
and the gal in front of me, I got sprayed with mezcal. They were throwing out little grenade-sized ceramic pots of mezcal in brown paper bags. And a young lady in front of me got hit right in the face. And it exploded. It went all over me and the people next to me. And she was fine. She didn't get cut or maimed, but she was shaken up. And from then on, it's like you really had to, like, it was battle stations at all times. And it was kind of like a very polite prison riot going on because people wanted these gifts. People came there. Everybody got a cowboy hat. So then I found out it wasn't just to wear, it was also that your trick-or-treat bag. And there was a gentleman next to me who I would say early 80s. And he hockey checked me out of the way for like a pear or whatever. Like, so something had landed near us. And his bag was full immediately. I, being a guest and a visitor in town, did not take anything except for loaf of bread. The loaf of bread that whacked me in the face. The woman sitting next to me was in scrubs. She was a nurse from Monterey. And I said, I'm so glad I'm next to you because this is dangerous. This is really... there was things were catching on fire. I love it. And then you get on the Aeromexico flying back to the States, and you know what? Peanuts. They got peanuts on the like when was the last time you opened up a bag of peanuts on a plane?
Yeah, they don't do that.
No, safety fifth is what I love about Mexico because the party is primaire, as I believe they say.
Maybe Mexicans are less prone to tree nut allergies or something, you know.
I was standing out in the main square, the Zócalo in Oaxaca, in El Centro, and there was the Guelaguetza Populares going on, and I had taken a little bit of mushrooms, the magic sorts, which are also very in fashion down in Oaxaca. And just as they kicked in, I realized I can't get out of here. There's no way for me to leave this.
That's good.
Like without really having to push my way through a sea of people. And there was a Zapotec ska band called the Skapotecs. And again, very welcome in Oaxaca because ska band is very brass instrument oriented. So again, more horns. And there was an enormous tower of fireworks, the kind that, the pinwheels, and then like a lot of everything's going to start spinning. And I realized we were really close to it, and that when it started, the people right beneath it were going to get really pelted with falling, burning transitional metals and their casings and whatnot. So right as my mushrooms kick in, I realized I can't get out of there, and everything starts on fire. And I looked at one point. There's a big, forget the name of it. It's a big, like, old Dominican Spanish church next to where the fireworks were. At some point, the church caught on fire. There was the top of this old stone church. Some part of the church was actually on fire. And I turned to this family next to me. There was like 4 kids and 4 adults, and we're all really pressed together. And I am high as a giraffe's asshole at this point. And I realized also, not necessary. Taking hallucinogens was completely superfluous because it was such a visual overload already. And I looked at the matriarch of the family next to me, and I pointed up at this building, and she'd seen it too. We're like, the church is on fire. And then the kind of the attitude was, that church has been here for 2,200 years or whatever. It's like, I think the church is going to be fine.
Yeah, let God handle
it. Never was there a firefighter after the church put itself out. The church knew how to deal with that shit. It's been there. It's certainly seen its share of fireworks over the millennia, and then because Oaxaca is the fucking coolest, you go down the road. It's 10 p.m. and you go to a chocolate place, and there's adults drinking hot chocolate. You get the chocolate de agua or de leche, and they come in the green pot and a wooden spoon, and they stir it up for you. And it's adults having hot chocolate at night. And I think that's civilized as fuck. That's very, very good.
Is it thick or is it thin?
It's like hot chocolate, but the chocolate there, the way they do it, I think it's like mixed with they do a little bit of cinnamon, a little bit of almond, I think, in there. Mm-hmm. And they grind it up in these molinos, I think they call them, these milled, and then they just grind up this fresh chocolate, and then they melt it in hot water or with milk, and they stir it up in a green jug with a wooden swivel kind of situation. And the kids drink it, the adults drink it. You have it for breakfast, you have it for lunch and dinner, and their relationship with chocolate is spiritual and fantastic.
Yeah, they invented it.
I guess they did, didn't they? Is that why? Like,
I think so.
I think chocolate isn't originally that a word that starts with an X and a lot of C's and T's and L's without a lot of vowels and stuff like that.
You know, I think the Europeans like nabbed it from South America or something, right? Yeah, it was like a royal beverage. I think it was associated with like vitality and it was used as like a natural male enhancement, you know, mostly because it was kind of like a stimulant, you know, as a result of being like sugary or something.
I went to this little village. Fuck. I can't think of what it is. I'll get it wrong.
Yeah, you can.
And there was a little chocolate place where they've been making it, and they do it like with the stone on stone. And she just took freshly roasted cocoa beans, ground them up. It turns into a paste. She's put a little bit of, I can't think of what kind of chili it is. I can't think of what kind of chili. And then just a little wooden spoon, and you just took fresh chocolate with chili in it. And it got me high. I got it was like a real like kick in the pants. It was awesome.
Mm-hmm. It's a stimulant, yeah.
If I don't give it all away to my brother, I have a bunch of chocolate downstairs from Oaxaca. Maybe I'll scoop some aside, Spencer and Kevin, and send you some Oaxacan chocolate.
Just a little. Your brother can have almost all of it. I'll take a nib.
It's fucking good.
A nose. I'll take one nose of chocolate. You could snort it, right?
Yeah, I was walking down the road, and I don't know if a 4-year-old little Mexican gal called me güero or not. But I think she walked by and called me güero.
Oh no!
Which means like white boy. But then again, güero also means blonde. I think there's like a pastry that's called the güero. So maybe she was just talking about she wanted to go to the bakery. I don't know.
Who knows? So how many moles did you try? You said you tried one when you first got there. Were there other moles? Were they good?
I only had the mole negro because generally the mole is going to be made with like caldo de pollo, like a chicken stock, or there's some sort of animal broth involved in it and stuff like that. But they love their street food there, and there's things called memelas and the chayudas and shit like that. And it's like, I was warned, don't eat the street food unless you have a strong stomach. I eat street food every day, and I felt like $1 million afterwards. It was awesome.
I wonder what happened.
All go down. We have to go back. I want to go back and just cruise around and there was just an incredibly traveling alone as I get older, because I love traveling alone. But as I get older, sometimes I think I'm getting old. Like, I should be sharing these memories with people. I should be traveling with a friend or a loved one, and I will. But I'm glad I went alone on this one, because if I had been with somebody that spoke English, my brain would have been in English mode.
Mm-hmm.
And since I had to be in Spanish mode, people, like, you go into a shop and I would ask them, like, my Spanish was good enough where I can politely ask them, do you speak English? And generally the answer was no. So my level 70 Duolingo and my my old high school Spanish has to throw down. And I can pronounce it okay, and so I can express myself, and then it just becomes fun because they're super nice about it. But like my brain was so in Spanish that I've been back a week. Every night since I've been back, I dream in Spanish, and I love that. I think that's always a good sign.
That's amazing. Yeah, you must really know the language.
Do you speak any other languages, Spencer, Kevin?
No, Kevin, do you?
Like high school level French. Like I can go to Quebec and understand what people are saying to me, but not really reply back meaningfully.
Yeah, I have high school Spanish, and whenever I try to talk to someone in Spanish, I can't figure it out. And then after they walk away, I remember all the sentences like I was trying to think of, and I'm like, oh, fuck. And then it's too late. That happens to me a lot, though.
One of my favorite memories of going to Quebec for the first time was, we were in downtown Quebec, and there was a crazy person that was screaming at me in French. And at first I was like, oh my God, this is what's going on? There's this like crazy guy who's like walking towards me, carrying a bunch of stuff, and then like yelling it in French. And then I realized I understood what he was saying. And I got this big smile on my face because I understood his crazy French screaming at me. And the weird made him smile that I got weirded him out enough that he went, never mind, I'm going to find somebody else to go bother.
I wonder if that works for other homeless people. Just give them a really creepy smile.
I was stuck. I got back from a little like side tour to go to one of the villages to see some, how they make a certain thing, and came back to the heart of town where my hotel was. And again, there's no chain hotels that I saw. And I said, I'm going to go walk up the road, get a coffee or a pastry or something like that. And then a parade broke out. And then the rain broke out, and the rain came down like real hard, like jungle rain, like just like there was nowhere to go. So everyone just runs into doorways. And like it was the kind of rain where if you had an umbrella, it wouldn't have helped. Half of you would have been like completely soaked anyway. So I ducked into a doorway that was just enough to keep me sort of dry. And there was a woman next to me, again, like half my height, probably a woman, maybe early mid-60s. And we were there together for 10 or 15 minutes because like there was no point in walking back out there. She had an umbrella and she was like, and the parade just kind of stops. Everyone jumped into cars or went into doorways. And so the streets kind of emptied for a second. And she turned to me and we just started talking in Spanish because I understood what she was saying. She understood what I was saying. And we were just actually laughing and talking about, just about the weather and just like that we were trapped. And then she asked me, and she's like, well, who's in Spanish? She's like, who's got the mezcal? And she wasn't joking. She was like, if one of us had a bottle of mezcal on us, we would have just cracked her open and just done what you do. And then the rain stopped. Everybody emerged from their hidey holes. Everybody was soaked. The parade resumed, and everybody was good and drunk. It was awesome. And a lady came up to me, offered me mezcal. I said, no, I don't drink. And she looked at me like very disappointed. And then she went on to pour everybody else around me mezcal. And then another old lady came up to me and handed me a cluster of garlic, like a bunch of bulbs of garlic. And I thought just when she came up to me and presented those to me, I thought she was like selling them to me. But she had the full colorful festival gear on. And she goes, no. And she said, it's para ti. And I took them and I said, gracias. And I'm holding this garlic. And another old lady looked at me with a look like, wow. I'm like, is this good? And she's like, that's very good. Like she gave you like that would have been garlic. I asked somebody else later on. She's like, oh no, that's garlic from her garden. So I went back to my hotel and I said, the garlic smelled so good. I'm not going to travel with 10 bulbs of very aromatic garlic in my luggage.
Sure. Yeah.
So I asked the gal that worked at my hotel, I was like, would you want this? And she's like, yeah. Like we put garlic in everything.
Yeah.
And she goes, that's really cool that somebody gave you garlic. I'm like, I didn't know what was going on. And people are throwing, I had to ask about this one. They're throwing sleeves of wrapped like red Solo cups at you as the parades go by. Wrapped up plastic plates, little plastic buckets, like with the price tag still on them, and everyone's scrambling to pick up these plates. And I'm not sure if I actually got the real answer to this, but they throw you these things because these are things that you want. And if you throw a party, which you do because it's Oaxaca, at your house, you put out a bunch of snacks and you put out drinks. Like, it's like, this is for your next party. So that you can serve all your friends and family and neighbors and stuff like that. So they just throw out shit that you can use. It's just great.
Yeah, well, I mean, if someone's like running around with a mezcal bottle and they'd throw out some Solo cups, you could bust them out and start, pouring right there, probably,
Yeah, here's in what a good mood I was. I had these brand new white canvas shoes on, and I got stuck in the rain, and then in a parade that couldn't get home. There was no way to get home without walking like 10 blocks in a circle around it. And I came home in my white shoes, which I'd only worn for the first time that day, completely filthy. And I didn't care at all. I was just so fucking happy to be there. I must shut up about it. I really am still kind of on a high about it.
We should move there. That sounds great.
No, promise that I wouldn't, because I get the feeling that Oaxaca is one of the cities that isn't totally expat Americans and Canadians yet. Right. Probably if you go back there in 2 or 3 years, in a few years' time, it's going to be.
I mean, that's happening everywhere, huh?
Near enough. Yeah, all my friends, when they go to Mexico, they go to San Miguel de Allende, and I didn't want to go there because I didn't want to hear a bunch of guys from Huntington Beach.
Yeah. I mean, that's the thing is you want culture. You want real culture, not fucking, horse shit. But that sounds so awesome. I'm so jealous. I want to go there. Maybe I got to take Flannery there. Go with her.
I would recommend it, man. If you just like cruising around and eating and just kind of like just digging it, like, I don't know, it's just you can go there and be a tourist and everyone's nice to you, but you can also just go there and like just kind of get like, you can kind of participate. I don't know. You have to walk the line. I always kind of feel like I know I stand out already. I don't look like I'm from places usually. And
well, I think you speak good enough Spanish that it probably buys you a lot of goodwill, Yeah,
but also I don't speak good enough to like. Yeah, I mean, if I had a superpower, it would not be flight or super strength. It would be speak every language fluently. I think that would be the greatest thing in the world. Twice while I was there, I got a laugh. Making a joke land in another language is an awesome threshold, I think.
I bet. Yeah, that's so cool, man.
It was super racist. It was a very, very off-color racist joke.
Well, yeah, of course. There's no race more racist than the Mexicans.
Yeah, but it was funny. Tell me about it. It was funny, and I used the subjunctive tense, so I think that's why it worked on so many levels.
The Mexicans love the subjunctive tense.
If you're going to be racist, always use the subjunctive.
Yeah, man. I'm really jealous. My life is a shambles. I am dying.
Why is your life a shambles?
Painful death. Well, it's just a mess. I'm looking for work, Jeff. I'm trying to find a decent job. I have a job. It doesn't pay enough. I talk about it all the time. Right before the show, I was waiting for Kevin to let me in. I was applying on Indeed, which is a fucking joke. Indeed, more like not Indeed. More like no thank you. But yeah, I don't know. It's a mess. Jeff, we were talking last time you were on the show, we were talking about these kids, these Gen Z kids that were not giving you good service. And on TikTok, right after we did the show, I was seeing a lot of people talk about what you were talking about. They call it the Gen Z stare, Jeff. And we talked about this on text, but I don't think we really mentioned it on the show.
You showed me a couple things and I did some reading up on that, and it really took took me off the hook. It's a cultural disorder. It's a thing. It's an actual
it's a
thing.
Contagion.
And again, now that we know that this is an actual mental illness that this generation has, I, as a Gen Xer and a baby boomer in a Gen X body, my job is to actively fuck with them now, because now that I know it's a disease, I'm going to have a little fun with it.
Yeah, it was this whole, I mean, it's still happening. There's been like, I feel like this has really been the opening up on Twitter of like a generational cultural war. I feel like before this, there have been some little snipes and barbs and random little cheap shots here and there between like Gen Z and millennials. But like this really has, now it's like full blown. Now I'm like finding all sorts of like millennials just talking shit about Gen Z in like a million different ways. But the Gen Z stare discourse was really crazy because Gen Z people were like, no, that's just what we say. That's just, we do that stare when someone is asking you like the craziest question. You have no idea how to respond to that. And then everyone's like, no, that's what you're describing is called being in retail. That's not like your generation did not invent staring at a fucking dipshit that you're trying to help at your job. Like that's a cultural universal. That's not the Gen Z stare. The Gen Z stare is when you say hello and they stare at you, and then you say hello again and they continue to stare at you. Like you're some sort of bug that's learned to talk and they're not sure if they should swat it or let it go, but that was part of the discourse. And then everybody's talking about their stories and everybody was like acting out like their versions of, interactions. The story that I heard is like a guy walked up, he's like, he's asking about like, their gift cards, like is like I was thinking about getting a gift for my daughter, so I was wondering like how long do these cards last? Like, is there a good amount that I should get? Stuff like that. Just met with no response, just a stare. And then he's like, so I mean, do you have the gift cards? Like maybe $20 or $50? And the person just stares at him, and then the customer is like, huh? Well, I guess I'm out of luck then. And then the employee responds, I guess so. And then the customer is just like, okay, and then left. But it's like, can you imagine just being stared at and being like, well, I don't know what to do here. And the customer or the employee is like, yeah, I know. It's crazy how I'm not doing my job. Like, you're fucked, buddy. Like, this sucks for you. I would hate to be in your position.
So here's my question, and maybe there's no real answer to this. In the mind of the Gen Zer who's doing the staring and the not answering, is what is the angle, or is there any angle at all? Is it I don't know, I'm uncomfortable, I hate this job, this is I didn't ask for this, I want this to all go away and stop happening? Or is this like, no, I have this power where if I just stare at them, they'll go away. I know how to confuse these weird old people by doing this weird, snake charm thing, by just like by not giving them what they're expecting, which is interaction.
I think some of it is like legitimate social panic. Where it's just like, because in the comments, some people would say like sometimes I'll randomly just not be able to like summon words, and so that's kind of like, I don't know, when you misspeak and you start to like stutter and stuff, it's kind of like that, but it's just coming out by like an inability to like think of a response, which is crazy because mostly what you have to say is like, hi, what can I do? How can I help? Like, it's not like a huge verbal lift you have to summon. But then other people, I think, are just I don't know. I think they just don't feel compelled to respond. Like, I think they're like, ball's in your court, buddy. Like, you're going to have to work for it,
The thing is, like you ever meet a kid, like a young child of a friend of yours, and when a kid just doesn't talk and just kind of stares at you, it's really intimidating. Mm-hmm. Because I imbue this young thing, this little kid, as having some sort of weird power all of a sudden. It's like, oh, he's just judging me. Like, this kid sees through my bullshit. Like, I'm fucking, like, now I'm uncomfortable. I don't know what to do. And the kid just stares at you, especially when they're little girls, and just give you a look like, wow, like I'm really uncomfortable right now.
Right.
There is a power, whether they're intentionally using it or not, by simply not interacting with you. It feels very, they've claimed some sort of status in that situation by being the one that seems to be in charge. It's a very imperious, regal thing to just not deign to reply to me when I asked you, what time do you guys close tonight? Like a question that if you don't know the answer to, you're a bad employee. If that makes you uncomfortable, then maybe that's a generational sickness that's not your fault. That any sort of communication is freaky. And again, they grew up watching 9/11 happen while they were at school, and then COVID and all this shit.
Well, I think Gen Z is maybe a bit young for that, honestly, but I'm not sure. But yeah, I think it's COVID and screen. A lot of people, like the way they describe it is it's like they're watching you like you're in a phone, but they're looking at you in real life. And it's like, yeah, if I was on the phone, you wouldn't say anything. You'd just be thinking. But when you're face to face with someone, it's weird to just passively observe like you were watching something.
Well, for eight days trying to speak my Spanish in Oaxaca, if I go into a coffee place and I order, do you know what they love there in Oaxaca in the coffee places? They love a flat white. They're big on the flat white. You do not see cortado written down on the menu, but you will see flat white, quite frequently. And so I
heard they call them güeros.
That's maybe why.
The girl wanted a flat white.
Yes, what's flat? Plancha? I don't know.
Maybe. Yeah.
So I would say a flat white con leche de avena or almendras or whatever, like almond or oat milk. And sometimes there'll be a little bit of a hesitation from these youngsters. And that could be what I like was that I'm just assuming I didn't just express myself very well in Spanish because there's that kind of pause. But when I'm getting that from a motherfucker that works in retail in Los Feliz, California, I expressed myself quite clearly, and I don't think I asked a real riddle of the Sphinx when I asked you, are you open on Sundays or whatever the fuck?
Yeah.
I mean, then again, when I worked in retail briefly, I worked at Trader Joe's when I was in high school. Back before Trader Joe's was on every corner, and I think it's much better run now. I did not enjoy working there, and I was an extraordinary asshole to everybody that worked there and a lot of the customers.
Wow.
So when people ask you dumb questions, and I was the prick about it, but I didn't stare them down. I actively hurt their feelings. I gave them a big old bucket of shit.
Well, maybe it's just rudeness has changed. Maybe this is the new rudeness. I wonder if it's like a lot of the people I saw were Americans. So I wonder if this is an American phenomenon or if Gen Z across the world is doing this,
Well, let's find out, because next week I'm going to be in Amsterdam, and then I'm going to be in Belgium, and let's find out what I will report to you. Because again, I'm not going to spend a whole lot of time learning Dutch or Flemish,
right?
But I can say the pleases and thank yous in French, and
you gotta learn Flemish.
I really do.
Yeah,
it's high time.
It's. And if you have a Gen Z story from America or beyond, let us know in the thathappenspod@gmail.com. Send us your Gen Z stories. Gen Z stories.
When I was traveling around, I had a guide that was a young gal named Andrea, who was awesome, who took me around, and we just drove around to the other villages, and she was a fantastic guide who really loved showing me her home region and stuff. And one of the days, or two of the days we went out together, she brought her 14-year-old daughter with us, who was super, super cool. Didn't speak a whole lot of English, spoke a little bit, but she had an Iron Maiden shirt on. She's super into rock and roll. She's a great artist. She showed me some of her drawings. She's super talented. And I asked her, is she going to have a quinceañera because her 15th birthday is coming up, and she says, no, I'm going to get a car. Like she there was a choice. Do I spend the money on the party? Do I spend the money on having wheels? Big decision for a 15-year-old. And so we're talking, and I was explaining about eating when I ate the chapulines, when I ate the grasshoppers, about like, she asked me, like, do you want to go see how mezcal is made? And I said, no, I don't drink. And also my guide, she's also sober. And so I was explaining, like, I don't feel any. The girl in Spanish asked me, has it been hard for you here to not be partaking with all the mezcal flying around? And I said, no, not like in any like draw to have booze. That's been really easy.
That's great.
I'm having a little bit of, yeah, I've been very lucky with that. It'll be a year at the end of August, you guys.
Wow. We got to have a party.
Yeah. Yeah, let's do it.
Drink.
Let's get fucked up, dude.
Yeah, let's get wasted.
I do have here's what a good sober alcoholic I am. I got a kitchen table downstairs covered in mezcal that's just been sitting there because it's for other people. So I was trying to explain to this young gal in Spanish what cultural FOMO would be. I was like, "You ever hear FOMO?" Because she's on TikTok. She's 14, and she's, oh yeah, like the mom had not heard of it, but the daughter had heard of it. And we're talking about like she was explaining to her mom the feeling that you're missing out on something because your friends are there but you're not. And then I said, do you guys call them Gen Z or like Generación Zeta or like they had some name for that? And the mom said we call them La Generación Cristal, the crystal generation, meaning they're so fragile.
Wow.
Because everything breaks them.
Yeah.
And so in Espanol, they call them the crystal generation. I think that's fucking awesome because that's Gen Z firing some shots. You little crystal, fragile little ding-dongs.
Yeah, they need a freaking safe space, 6 feet down under safe space, pretty safe down there.
And also the chapulín, if you call somebody, if your girlfriend or boyfriend dumps you and starts dating somebody else, like one of your friends, they call that person a chapulina or a chapulín because they're a grasshopper. They just hopped to somebody else.
I like that. I want to be one of those. I want to get eaten. I'm looking it up, Jeff, and it looks like they're called the Crystal Generation because they were born at the same time that Crystal Pepsi came out.
Is that right?
I don't know.
I want that to be true, actually.
It could be 92 to 94. That sounds,
Are you making? Did you really read that, or are you just being hilarious?
I looked up Crystal Pepsi, and it lines up. I wouldn't say, but to be fair, I wouldn't say I'm being hilarious, Jeff. I don't know, like maybe mildly amusing.
I find it hilarious. Also, wow. Until you said Crystal Pepsi, I either forgot there was such a thing as Crystal Pepsi, or I never knew there was Crystal Pepsi. What the fuck is Crystal Pepsi?
It's like Pepsi, but it's clear. I don't think it tasted exactly like Pepsi, but it tasted mostly like a cola, but it was clear like water. And there's this guy, fruity. What's his name? The LA Beast, and he was obsessed with Crystal Pepsi. And there's like a video of him drinking like a Crystal Pepsi from 94, and then he just throws up for like 10 minutes. It's like one of the best videos. We gotta have the LA Beast on the podcast. Wow, you gotta send him to LA Beast.
Okay.
We gotta get him on, Jeff. Go ahead.
Oh, because I would be more interested, and perhaps interesting, if you took the food coloring out of Pepsi and it still tasted exactly like Pepsi, and the brownness of cola was completely like putting yellow food coloring in cheese. It's just a style choice. But did something go away when they took out the coloring from the taste of Pepsi when they made it crystal?
Well, Kevin said it was actually a different flavor. I thought it was.
Yeah. I mean, I've made cola from scratch before, and it will be completely clear or nearly clear unless you specifically add the caramel coloring to it.
Yeah, maybe it's like a weird color.
You made it with chemicals or actual cola nuts and whatnot?
I made this kind of like botanical herbal thing of, there's a recipe it's about as close as you can get to Coca-Cola, without actually using coca leaves and stuff like that. It didn't come out great, but I did make it specifically clear just to see, if that affected how I perceived tasting and stuff like that. But no, it wasn't a very good cola. So I don't think I did a great job of it. But yeah, cola is just clear.
Really?
But Crystal Pepsi was sort of fruity flavored. Like I don't know. It kind of had this like citrusy. It was a lighter, not as sharp flavor, I guess I would call it.
Are you still, Spencer? Are you still Mr. Mountain Dew? Are you still digging on the colas and the sodas and whatnot?
Phil, Jeff, I got an answer for your question that's visual.
Uh-oh. He's going to take his dick out. He's going to take that. I've fallen for this very thing before. He turns around and he's got his dick out.
Yeah. That brand he had on his face right there.
I didn't realize till just now, Spencer, that you didn't have a ponytail, but you've got short hair. Ish.
Yeah, it doesn't look. It looks pretty normal when I have my headphones off or on, but yeah,
I like it. That's a good look. Who do you remind me of? What actor have you become now that with that haircut?
Javier Bardem.
Yep, that's it.
Does this answer your question, Jeff? This was right next to my bed.
What flavor is this?
This is Jeff. This is a new flavor. You'd love this. Kevin just tried it on the podcast yesterday. Kevin, I went to Walmart the other day and my Mountain Dew senses went off and I walked over to the Mountain Dew and there was 2 fucking 12 packs of dragon fruit Mountain Dew, Jeff. Dragon fruit flavored.
Okay.
It's great.
I want to. Here's what I'm going to say. I want to try that, and the next thing I know, Kevin has sent me 3 crates full of Mountain Dew dragon fruit.
I'll just bring you a can.
I don't even want the can. I want someone to pour me a sip of that and then leave.
Yeah,
with the rest of it, because are they still here? For like 5 years after Kevin gave me those weird flavored soda pops, and the one that tasted like buttered popcorn and fucking taco sauce or whatever,
mustard.
Those sat there forever because they were so bad.
Mm-hmm.
Were any of them good? I didn't even think we liked the ones that were regular flavors.
No, even the regular flavors were bad. It was all terrible.
Yeah, I still have good. What flavor
olive flavored?
Yeah, I'm gonna send this to Levy. I think.
Olive. I didn't have that one.
Yeah.
See, black olive flavored soda. That seems like you should be able to like take that on an episode of Chopped and reduce that and make like a puttanesca.
That would definitely be a great episode of Chopped. Is like a Lester's Fixins episode. Everyone would be throwing up.
Okay,
that'd be so good. We got to do that.
I'm gonna file this under questions I already know the answer to. Does Mountain Dew dragon fruit taste like dragon fruit?
Not really, but it tastes good. How it tastes is good. But yeah, I gotta get I can get maybe like a Ziploc baggie and pour you a single dram of Mountain Dew and whisk it over to you.
You know who's got dragon fruit opinions? Strong, firm dragon fruit opinions. Gary Anthony Williams.
Okay. Now there's a handsome man.
I don't know if he is a handsome gentleman, and I'm very fortunate to have gotten to work with him. This guy will talk to you about dragon fruit and about which dragon fruits are bullshit. And like, there's the yellow dragon fruit, the white dragon fruit, the red dragon fruit. I don't know, but
it's a very mild flavor.
Yeah, well, not if you're Gary Anthony Williams. He'll tell you that there is. I'm not sure which one is the nuclear bomb of dragon fruits. The ambassador of dragon fruits.
So I think red. Go ahead.
Speaking of nukes, Cukes and Yukes, wasn't one of those Larry's Fixins, or what were they called? Lester's Fixins?
Lester's Fixins, yeah.
Mm-hmm. One of them was the cucumber flavor one. I think that was among the least offensive ones that we tried.
I was going to say, that sounds like the best one they had, probably. Cucumber soda's not bad.
I don't know. I just don't drink a lot of sodas anymore.
You shouldn't. They're horrible for you.
Are you still smoking the weed, or did you get off the weed?
I mean, I'll socially smoke a little bit now and then, but yeah, I don't smoke. Speaking of mushrooms, Jeff, I took a gram of mushrooms a week or so ago, and I guess it's because it's just not enough or something, but I really didn't feel much of anything. I just felt a bit like maybe a bit high, like on weed almost, like just a little bit buzzing and then a little sick to my stomach because I think it upsets your stomach generally. But
yeah, you get little burpy or queasy for a while and stuff like that. Yeah, it just sounds like you just didn't take. You took enough to get a little high and not enough to trip out.
Yeah, I'm slowly working my way up. I don't want to like get too crazy. Out of nowhere,
when I took them in Mexico, I instantly regretted it because it wasn't really necessary. It didn't enhance my experience. I just go, now I'm high, and now I'm a little paranoid because I'm trapped in a sea full of people.
Yeah.
And if I want to I can, like, my hotel is 3 blocks from here, but to get there is going to be a problem.
Mm-hmm.
And then I thought, like now I just feel like, I don't know, I don't like taking drugs that much, really. When I get high, even if it's like a fun social thing, if I take a little hit of weed, I'd never go, fuck yeah, I'm perfectly high. I always go, shit, I'm high.
Yeah.
And now there's some sort of deficit that's happening. Like my vision is blurry now, or I don't know. Like if occasionally it's fun to do mushrooms and really like talk to the trees and shit like that. I enjoy that, but that for me could be once a year. And then even then it's such a commitment, but you got to really be ready to get on that toboggan ride.
Yeah. Well, it looks like we're out of time, Jeff. You have any final thoughts before we say goodbye to the nice fans and the mean ones?
I don't. If anybody, I'm not going to go through them, but if anybody who has spent a lot of time in Amsterdam or Bruges or Brussels and feels like they know me at all and what I might like or not like, if someone's got one little tiny specific thing that might not have occurred to me otherwise that I should see or do, I would like to know what that is.
Yeah.
But don't say like some specific thing and then you're going to be there and then I have to hang out with you. I don't want that.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
Unless you're Javier Bardem.
There you go. Or you look like him.
You know who
I
want to meet? Guy. I want to meet. There was a Dutch footballer, a Dutch soccer player with the awesome name Jiz Hornkamp. And if I can sit down and talk to one Dutchman while I'm there,
yeah,
the fellow's name, I'm not joking, is Jiz Jiz Hornkamp.
Wow.
And
so if anyone can set up an intro to Jiz, that could be really good.
I'm going to take him out. We're going to eat all the butter. That's what we're going to fucking do. We're going to get up on that good Lapland butter or lowland. I don't fucking know. Lapland,
home of the Santa Claus Village.
You put me on the spot there, Spencer. What's your parting thoughts for the audience as we say goodnight?
Well, Jeff, we like to end the show the same way we do every week. So until next time, Stephen G. Bass in the Discord says, mosquito eggs were a big thing until recently. Apparently, they're akin to caviar. Loosely translating to seeds of joy, they were considered by the Aztecs to be the food of the gods. So